Which is strange because I thought that this was what the first demo tape was for, to sell my voice and learn how to talk like a producer, or I mean not I mean to talk like a radio announcer. Then I looked. Then I look into the future and I see myself running around, getting getting taken more and more, trying to learn, trying to beat down on doors that have already been beaten down on by professionals. And I think, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to be a part of this rat race? And I think not. I've already been taken from my stupid, vain, egotistical acting desire. I sure don't think I want to be taken with my voice now. Oh well. Anyway, it wasn't quite what my parents thought it would be. They were the ones who wanted Kevin to do it, but since Kevin didn't want to do it, I went in his place. But since he luckily didn't want to do it, I went instead. I really didn't know it was going to be a commercial for a radio thing. I thought it was going to be a thing where where they teach you how to do dialects and impersonations for radio, not commercials. I don't even like doing commercials anyway. This is really all I have to report on. Friday I found out that I was the only one who did Christ Who Sent Into Hell for the New Testament class. But the word is getting around about what I wrote, and now some guy wants to write a paper on it also. He asked me where I got the sources to write the paper, and I gave him the information. Who knows? I might have started something. Thank God. Over and out. B. Ramsey. I bet you think I'm done, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? I'm not done. I'm not done yet. I bet you thought I was done, didn't you? Didn't you? November 17th, 1987, Tuesday night, which was last night. The only thing that I have to report, that I have worth reporting today, is that it seemed like an underdog dream came true today. This morning, Grandma told me that a poor, shivering, pretty doggy was outside on the front porch. I thought, oh yeah? Huh, that's strange. It was raining and cold and dreary outside, so I went to see the poor, shivering, pretty doggy. When Grandma opened the door to show me, it seemed like an underdog dream come true, because laying right outside the door was a full-grown Doberman Pinscher. Doggy. The very type of dog an underdog looks like. Anyway, it was very strange. Grandma was very friendly with the dog and even asked for it to come into the house, but it just stayed out on the porch, being too afraid to come in. Grandma thought the doggy was friendly, but when the postman came, the little doggy tried to kill him. It chased him out into the street, growling, barking, and showing its teeth. Grandma had to beat it off of him. I wasn't here when this took place. Then the underdog, like doggy, tried to kill a little girl. The girl just barely made it into her house. Grandma called the pound after it had tried to kill the postman, and then told the angry postman that it wasn't her dog. The postman said that he'll never come to Grandma's door again. Finally, the dog catcher came and managed to catch the monster as it tried to get into our house. Grandma managed to close the door on it right when it was halfway through the door. Grandma said that although it was an experience, she wasn't scared. The strange thing about it was why the dog latched onto Grandma and her house, and why a dog who looked like why a dog who looks like an underdog. It seemed like an underdog nightmare. Grandma saw that the dog was a threat to children, and luckily the catcher came right in the nick of time before her students started coming to take piano lessons. Over and out, Bruce R. I'm gonna see if I can make my eyes look white on Mother Matthias. Mother Matthias. This is Bruce Ramsey. The date today is December. Let's see here. I'll find out exactly what it is. December 14th, 1987. And this is what I wrote, a few weeks ago. Let's see here. November 24th, 1987. I'm going to make this go down a little bit. There needs to be more light in here. Let's see, I'm going to experiment here. Okay. November 24th, 1987, Tuesday night. I have some good news to report and some bad news. First the good news. The cute blonde girl I gave my paper to a couple of weeks ago came up to me in class and told me that she really thought she really thinks I'm right on with my ideas about universal salvation. Anyway, she was really excited about it and wants to give the paper to McDowell to see what he thinks. He's the Irish, Scottish teacher's aide. McDowell, an Irish Scottish teacher, aide in the religious studies department, is her teacher. Anyway, her excitement for my paper made me really happy. And yesterday, the black girl named not Teresa. It's what is her name? I can't remember her name. Oh well. Um, and another girl came up to me to see if I would let them read my paper. My teacher's aide flattered me by telling the Mexican girl in my class to go to me to find out all the answers. That I have my PhD in the department of Christ's descent into hell, and she did. Anyway, all this excitement didn't last because today, while I was taking a test in Christian theology, I suddenly realized after I had taken the test that I cheated on my test. I I actually cheated. I don't know if the teacher watched me or not, but there was this Chinese girl sitting next to me. When the teacher put a word on the board, she suddenly realized that she was wrong in what she put down for her answer, and she went, "Oh no," and looked, and I looked at her write the right word down, which helped me. I saw her. I did. I went like that and saw what she wrote. I'm pretty sure that I was caught, but the thing is, I actually cheated. And since I'm pretty sure the teacher saw me now, everything that I do will remain questionable. They'll think, well, what else is he cheating on? And since I'm going to be in all those classes, my grades will suffer. I just can't believe how stupid I was to look at someone's paper during a test, especially in a university. I can't believe it. And since I'm supposed to be a Christian who did something like this, wow, now I have just made Christianity look like a lie again. Dear God, please forgive me for cheating. It was amazing. I can't believe I did what I did, especially in a Christian class. I sure hope Hurst didn't see what I did. I met him a little later on after class. He kind of avoided me. I guess he realizes that I'm no better than anyone else now, at least in his estimation. Anyway, last night and today I became depressed when I realized that in Hebrew, a Christian, in Hebrews, a Christian can lose his salvation if he turns from God, and plus he won't be able to be forgiven. It will be impossible for him to turn back, which also sounds like anti-universal salvation. This sounds like a big contradiction in the Bible, to me, because how much bad does a Christian have to do to fall away from Christ? And well, how much bad does he have to do to fall away to the point where he can't be forgiven? Oh well, over and out, Mr. Stupid. P.S. I ended up kicking a pine cone around with Jan today, Kevin's girlfriend. We didn't really kick it around, just kicked it about as we walked. Jan seems like a very friendly girl. Over now. November 29th, 1987, Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening. Well, I'm going to turn this off. Well, I had a good Thanksgiving get-together with my parents and relatives. Doug McClure came up Wednesday night and just left a little while ago today. My parents read my latest term paper, and Dad thinks it's better than my paper I did on Christ's Descent into Hell. They then helped me on it, and now the thing that is and now they think it's really good. Last Wednesday, a Mexican girl in my class got excited about the paper I wrote about hell and decided to do Christ's Descent into Hell for a term paper also. Anyway, I think this is neat myself. I started getting all fired up to write, "Must a Christian believe in eternal hell?" But then I read 1 Peter today, which kind of discouraged me because the paper I wrote on the kingdom of God in Christ's teachings. Peter tells the reader that in the end times people would come about and use Paul's writings that would result in their destruction. I sure hope and pray that what I'm writing isn't something evil. God forgive me, please. God forgive me and change my ways if I am. I sure would hate to preach something false. The thing that bothers me is that Peter mentions false shepherds coming about in the last days using Paul, or, well, it went something like that anyway. I'm pretty sure that if I get famous in my writings, those scriptures in Peter will be haunting me from the mouth of Christians who think that I'm preaching a different gospel from Christ. And now I am, I don't know. The kingdom Christ is, that Christ, the kingdom Christ that is, well, I'm trying to follow Paul. Maybe, since the age of grace is going to die at the rapture, I think, those who preach Paul will be in the wrong because it will be the kingdom during, after the rapture. Who knows? Maybe walk-ins will be preaching what I wrote in the efforts of getting people damned by taking the mark. Because it won't matter if you say Jesus Christ is, it won't matter if you accept Christ or not. If you take the mark, you'll be damned. So no more grace, it will be under the works thing again, which is the kingdom. In the kingdom tribulation, it won't matter if you have accepted Christ to be saved, because if you then get a mark from the beast, you'll be damned. Paul's writings in the tribulation could spell disaster for those who think grace still abounds. Anyway, I don't know if what I'm writing now is true or not. That thing in Peter has definitely got me wondering, though. If the rapture takes place now, the kingdom will be here, and what I wrote will be false, maybe. Oh well. Anyway, Doug didn't seem to be too thrilled about going back home to San Francisco. Jan Ekblad came over yesterday. I think she really likes Kevin. Jan's a nice, fun girl. Seems fun, loving also. I don't know that Kevin is crazy about her, though. During Thanksgiving, Uncle Gerald was his old self again, only this time, while we were getting into the Thanksgiving spirit, he started talking about necrophilia and boogeymen. The way he talked about it and went on and on about it made me think that he was a boogeyman himself. It was really depressing and negative as he talked about it. He thinks queerness or necrophilia is a result of denied masturbation, which doesn't make sense at all, because just why would someone become a sadist and torture someone to death because of a lack of masturbation? Doesn't make sense, does it? I asked Gerald that question, and he couldn't answer it, making me realize that those weirdos he's describing are not psychologically imbalanced, but demon-possessed. I'm getting so darn tired. Anyway, it's getting late. I had better get on with my last term paper. Over now. Chris Ramsey. December 5th, 1987. Saturday evening. Believe it or not, Eddie Clary just called me today, and he's not dying of AIDS or going insane from dementia after all. He told me that things haven't been going well for him since last June due to manic depression. He told me that manic depression is a gene that runs in his family and that he has it also. But even though it caused him to be hospitalized and made him crazy toward his mother and sisters, he discovered lithium. And now he's sane and normal. After talking to him on the phone for about an hour, I feel as though God has answered my prayers, because he really doesn't sound, because he really does sound happy and normal again, like the way he was before I found out that he was queer. I mean, yay. Anyway, we had a good time talking about politics, the new Star Trek that we don't care about, and the Newton. I also told him about Kevin, my parents and family, and told him what they were doing, and how my dad's ideas and theories about the Bible are really taking off at Davis. Anyway, Eddie is going to soon give me a copy of his second and latest Newton book. He has also revised the first one, so it should be interesting to see how it turns out. Perhaps the best news that he revealed to me is that he is already out of San Francisco and is now living in Berkeley, but this December 16th, he will be moving east to Delaware. Eddie's new address and phone number are 813 Elkton Road, Newark, Delaware, 19711. Phone number is 1-302-731-4107. Anyway, before we hung up, I told him that I would give him a copy of my latest book I'm working on. Only this book isn't a Newton book, but a theological book called Possible Keys to the Bible that contain 3 theoretical answers to what I believe about the Bible. The first one is called Christ's Descent into Hell, an expanded and much more in-depth term paper that I wrote for my New Testament class, and I'm now writing and typing up for my other class, which will go under the title name of Must a Christian Believe in Eternal Hell? Instead of 5.5 pages long like the original was, this one is going to be over 10 pages long and a lot more powerfully in depth. The second story, piece is going to be called Differences Between Paul and the Kingdom Christ,